have the pleasure of being with Mr. AJ Cook here today. AJ he is our drummer at Bethel for Frontline. You've probably seen him. I'm excited to be here today. You have a great story to tell us or to talk with us about today, and encourage hopefully some of those out there. In a year of craziness,
really,
you made the decision to make a transition, to make a change in your life. Talk to us about what you were doing and what you're doing now.
Okay. Well, as you said, for 24 years, I worked for Kershaw County School District as a transportation supervisor over student busing.
Right.
And so I'm going into my 24th year, and in 2015, I closed my funeral home. Mm-hmm. And I still was working in the business, you know, doing trade embalming and things of that nature, directing funerals for other funeral homes. And this year, during the pandemic, just so happened that I started working probably in late 18. I had the opportunity to come and work with Mr. Holly.
Okay.
And I started off as a branch manager in Bishopville. He was opening a facility in Bishopville, and so some colleagues kind of said, hey, threw my name out, and we had a chance to talk, and we did, and so I took the opportunity, but it wasn't really full-time. I was just, you know, part-time, or, you know, there when I can be, because I still had a full-time job and things of that nature. So this year, August, I think, early August, Mr. Holly came to me and asked me about an opportunity to go full-time. Now, I'm already full-time with Kershaw County School District.
And like you said, told me, 4 years away from retirement.
Yeah, yeah. And so you start thinking about all those things. So I thought about it, and of course I had to go talk to my wife. And,
right.
And I guess when she kind of gave me the okay to step out, mm-hmm. as well as I've been praying all these years after I closed the funeral home for an opportunity. Mm-hmm. And I'm one to always say, you know, change is hard. People don't like change. And I found out that I don't like change too much either. I love change, but I guess it was, wow, this is a big change, and I'm so close to retirement, 4 years away, and do I want to make this change? You know, God opens the door, and do I, you know, am I, the fear.
Yeah.
Should I step out on it? You know, I'm with a company that's it's stable. You know, it's state and county supported and all this stuff. I don't have to worry about anything. And I was just telling you a few minutes ago, I had just gotten a bathroom. My own personal bathroom. Just a year ago, you know? Right. So, I mean, life is good. But then the pandemic hit, and I know that bus services wasn't going to change. Mm-hmm. And so I think, you know, God was saying that this is a good time for change. Mm-hmm. And so I took the opportunity, and here I am. Yeah. And with J.P. Holly Funeral Home and Crematorium Corporation.
I know it's fresh still, kind of, but how are you seeing God, just even as you've taken that step of faith to walk away from where you were for 24 years, this new opportunity for you? How have you seen God begin to open doors for you?
This is new for me. It's new for Mr. Holly, the owner, because pretty much it was a position that I created. Mm-hmm. It was no position here for it. And so he basically said, well, you sit down and you write it.
Wow.
And when you start talking about, you know, salary and money and all that kind of stuff, and insurances and all this kind of stuff, you know, he's you tell me.
Right.
And everything that I asked for, I pretty much got.
Wow.
And so that's God.
Yeah, without a doubt.
How he works. Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
And, you know, the funeral home, as a minister, we've seen it, you know, the funeral home plays a gigantic role, and it is a ministry.
Yeah.
Tell us about the ministry that goes into serving a family through a funeral home.
Wow. Hopefully, and we all at some point will have to, you know, visit or have some type of business with a funeral home. And hopefully every person will run into a funeral home where the people there are believers. I'm glad to say that I'm here at a funeral home where God is here and things are led by faith.
Wow.
And by allowing God to go before and make a path, and so we are here to work with people. And if you don't have that type of love and a heart for people during that time, unfortunately, it is just a business.
Right.
And I always said that this is a ministry for me.
Yeah.
And it's not about the money, but it's how you help people.
Right.
Because God will provide.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, before we wrap up, I want you, what word of encouragement would you give to someone who may be struggling and saying, with trusting God?
Well, I hate to be cliche-ish, but I guess in this point I will be. And you said the word. You have to trust God. Mm-hmm. Put your faith and your trust, build your hope on His rock. Mm-hmm. And it'll be solid for you. You know, whatever that is, whatever that step that you want to take or direction you want to go in, if you put trust and your faith in God, you'll see mountains move.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, AJ, you're obviously seeing that now, and I appreciate you taking some time to just share your story of your trusting God and stepping out in faith, and now seeing God order your steps from that. So thank you so much, AJ.
Well, thank you. Thank you for letting me share.